Good evening, viewers. As always, we are back with our fortnightly program on MSME consulting with Mr. TUHIN MUKHARJEE of iSTRATEGIC Consulting and myself, Abir Mozumdar from the Idea Factory. This is a joint initiative, and we have covered various topics in the last few months. And one of the major, I mean, one of the major constants in all these programs have been definitely innovation. Today we are talking about innovation once again, though we had covered up the topic in April, but a lot of changes have happened in the last 4 months, and we have received a lot of inquiries on the innovation topic from the various clients that we are discussing with, and we thought it could be a good time to talk again on the topic of innovation. So today we are talking about India Innovation Index, and very recently the National Innovation Index has been released by the NITI Aayog of the year 2022 based on the rankings data of 2021, and this has been jointly released by the Institute of Competitiveness and NITI Aayog. And that means this has got a lot of precursors to it, and we thought, why not take this up along with some more additional elements which perhaps have come in the minds of our clients also. So a little bit of introduction on the India Innovation Index. Right. As we all know that we are following a global innovation index matrix, and India is part of that. In that, in the last 2021 rankings, India has ranked about 46 vis-a-vis the global players, and it has improved its ranking by 2 numbers over the last year, over 2020. So it has been constantly watched, and India is trying its level best to rise up the ladder in the Global Innovation Index rankings. And in the process, what we have done, just a snapshot of the parameters that have gone into making the Global Innovation Index. This is just a very top level matrices or parameters that goes into the Global Innovation Index, where the index has actually been broken up into 7 parameters from 5 on the input side and 2 on the output side. And we are tracking the performance of India, especially on the output side, whereas in the knowledge segment, we are trying to get our positions higher. In terms of infrastructure also, we are trying to get our position higher. And India as a knowledge superpower, we are giving a lot of importance to innovation within India. This is especially true after COVID, because every country is trying to get back on their own feet and stand on their own capabilities, and innovation is the main differentiator that will distinguish a country over any other country in the medium to long term. So this is a yearly matrix, and that has been broken up into a national matrix, and that national matrix has been released only a few days back by the NITI Aayog. Just to give a snapshot of the national matrix that we have seen is, this is of course based on the data of 2021, and then India drilled it down into into the national parameters, in which the state Karnataka has taken the maximum position among the major states. Among the union territories and city states, Chandigarh has taken the main position, and in the northeast and hilly states, Manipur has taken the main position. So a lot of importance is now being given as to how to raise the level of innovation within the country, and therefore play a competition among the various states in India, and to see which state is improving over the years, leaving the others behind. Now, this is also a time when very recently, India, we are talking of the largest innovation campus in India, which is called the T Hub, which has been, introduced in Telangana or Hyderabad, and that accommodates a lot of innovation ecosystem, building an ecosystem, and trying to drive the innovation within the country. This is the hotspot of innovation within the country. So a lot of things are happening on the innovation front, and perhaps it's a good time that we can talk of how innovation can impact the nation and especially the MSMEs. So my question to Mr. TUHIN Mukherjee is, Mr. Mukherjee, how is innovation needed by a country, and how do you think we can strengthen our innovation parameters?
Thanks, Mr. Majumdar. It's a basically good news for all of us that we improved our ranking. Earlier, it was almost 48 out of the world. Now we're in the 46. So we improved our ranking in the innovation index system. Basically, it's a ecosystem for the country. Ecosystem for the country to measure the creativity and innovation. See, if a country wants to grow, it has to be innovative and creative. Without innovation and or the creativity, it's very difficult for a country to grow. I'm taking the big picture, but when you are coming to a smaller one, the organizations which are ruling today, they are actually, they were basically the small organizations some years back. That could be Google, Apple, or the Amazon. They started in a very small way. Now they are ruling the world. They are ruling the world because of the creativity and innovation. And that is the point that we need to know. The Indian organizations need to be creative and innovative. Without innovation, they cannot compete with the other organization in the world. Whereas our innovation ecosystem is not that strong, basically, because we are standing in the 46th place. So we need to move up. There is a long way to go, but we are improving. And Niti Aayog also improving this kind of the system, so that there is a kind of the urgent need people can understand and they can become globally competitive. Because we want to see the organization, Indian multinational, to compete in the world space with the other organization, and we want to say Indian version of the Google, Facebook, or Amazon. And that is why that I think that innovation index is very important to actually reflect our own position, to reflect our own, basically, the image. And that's what the government is trying to do. And it's a good news that we are actually improving day by day. But I think there is a lot, means there are lot many things to be done in the future, and there is a long way to go as well. So, Mr. Majumdar, please you continue.
The question that automatically comes is, since we are focusing mainly on the MSME segment, basically what could be the innovation index for the MSMEs in the country, because these are small companies, and whether such an innovation index is relevant for smaller companies. First of all, let us remember that the innovation index that we are talking is about countries and about states. So there is a connection of a geography in the innovation index that we are talking of. On the other hand, when we are talking of the MSME segment, here we are talking changing the measurement from a state to an industry, or a size, or a cluster of companies which are of a very smaller size. So basically, we are shifting the platform from where we measure the innovation index from the state or a nation to the company level, and therefore we have to remember that the same mechanism will not apply. We have to change the parameters, or take this as the starting point, and then evolve an innovation index which suits the MSME sector. So there will be definitely parameters that will be taken from the global innovation index or the national innovation index, but then also we will have to take a lot of other parameters that are specific to the sector. So in that, but it is also important to measure innovation. First of all, MSMEs are very high on innovation, unlike a very large organization which over a period of time kind of slows down on the innovation process. When a company is starting up, obviously, it has something very unique, it has something very strong, which is not offered in the market, and that's why people are buying the product. So obviously, the innovation quotient of a startup or an MSME is slightly higher than a larger organization. Having said that, it's very easy for them, to maintain the momentum, because you're just starting off, and if you put a mechanism in place that we want to measure your innovation part of it, obviously it becomes easier for us to monitor the MSME and also to control the parameters not to allow the slippage of the innovation. As we have discussed in the previous programs also, innovation has to be a mindset, it has to be an attitude, and should not end with the launch of the first product in the market. Even that product is a killer. Yeah, over a period of time, you have to bring out better and better products so that the companies, people continue to buy your various products or services that you are doing. So innovation always has to be there. You have to keep on thinking new and new products that the customer might want. And so obviously this is a very good time for measurement of innovation with MSMEs. Now the country has very high hopes on the MSME sector because these are the generator of jobs for the future generation. The country is looking up to them. They have a responsibility towards the nation. First of all, there's a lot of personal stake because these are the people who have left their jobs and doing something on their own, finding meaning on something over the period of time. But at the same time, it also solves a bigger problem of the nation. So all these, as it solves a bigger problem, obviously they are the future generations of the jobs and future generation job creators, and obviously that puts a high expectation on the innovation index. In fact, if you ask us, the actual innovation growth of the country will happen through the MSMEs because they are the ones which are higher on the innovation index, and they are the ones who are going to take the innovation index of the country higher. So all the states must support the MSMEs to ensure that these innovation goes on. They continue with their innovation streak, and all the support is given by the states to bring out innovation. And that's why MSMEs are showing a lot of interest in our programs because we are talking of innovation or creativity all the time. In every program, we are stressing upon this point, and therefore they are looking up to us as well to bring in some more better independent thoughts to improve the innovation. This being some basic thoughts, my next question to Mr. Mukherjee is, Mr. Mukherjee, how do you think that how can we implement the innovation process in the MSME sector?
Yeah, it's a very important question. Basically, the thing is that, see, as such that we have seen that many SMEs in India are not interested to experiment with the new things. That is a problem. That is a mindset problem, because you have to invest some money for experimenting new things. Otherwise, the thing is that innovation will not come. Innovation is not a thing that you can actually get it or buy it or you can do it overnight in your organization. You need to do lots of experiments, and for that there should be a wastage of the funds as well. So that is the main mindset, that is main business owners, they don't want to actually invest the fund. I should not say the waste the fund, I should say the invest the fund, because there will be some kind of a misfire. There is no other way out, because if you want to experiment with something new, there will be misfire and some funds will not give you the revenue, means they will not give back you the revenue. So that is true. So in that case, that you have to be very innovative, you have to actually take the risk. So that is the thing that we need to think, that the SMEs and the MSMEs particularly, they contribute the major portion in the GDP of any country in the world. Any country in the world, it is very true and it's very valid. So it is valid for Indian context as well, because if we want to actually grow our GDP in manifold, that there has to be a greater participation or contribution of the SME and the MSME. Now, if you want to see some the Google, Facebook, or Amazon, means Indian version of this organization, so there has to be some kind of the means experiment, and organizations need to accept that they need to actually be more open in the culture, more risk more risk taking capacity or risk appetite that should have, and that is how the thing is can be done. So that is that, because if we have a closed economy as well as the closed mindset, it's very difficult to have the innovation. The government can actually introduce or publish this innovation index, but I think more of it could be a kind of the paperwork, because we have seen also like that, because releasing innovation index or doing something, the kind of the data means kind of the work. I think that organization cannot to be innovative unless until organization do something practically and take some practical risk in becoming innovative. And that is the main thing, because I have seen the organizations are not being innovative. They don't want to apply or adopt the new things. The biggest example was in the corona time, when the organization was actually trying to adopt the old things, whereas they were dying. They are not actually able to cope up with the situation. Still they are not actually adapting the new process. They are averse. So this is the thing that I think there is a great need or great shift in the mindset. There should be a great shift in the mindset, and the people should be more risk prone to implement this kind of the ecosystem in the country. And that is where that we are the consultants, like Mr. Majumdar and myself. We are there to help the organization to actually make them understood that innovation ecosystem is mandatory for all the organization, be it small, medium, or the large. I think there is a great need for the medium and the small organization. Means there is a great need of becoming the more innovative, because they need to sustain in this kind of the volatile environment. They need to be more means innovative, and if they want to become the global, or if they want to increase their scale of the operation, they need to be more innovative rather than the bigger organizations, because organization already achieved their critical mass. Now it's a turn for the small and the medium organization. They need to do that, and we're the consultant who are actually going to do that. So I think that there is the bottom line, that you need to change your mindset, you need to take the risk, and you need to experiment with the new things if you want to be innovative. And there is a mandatory, or there is an urgent need to have a structured ecosystem in the organization that should foster the innovation. So, Mr. Majumdar, I'd like to request you to continue with the next question.
Right. I think I will continue with the topic that you have said, that the biggest barriers of innovation, there are great barriers to innovation. As you rightly said, there's a lot of risk taking that is required, and organizations are not willing. So basically, they try out on the tested route, and obviously that's why you can see more and more products which which are incrementally better than the existing products, and they keep on selling, because the amount of time and energy to bring a breakthrough product that most organizations do not do, even in India. Even the MNCs that are working, we see that breakthrough products or breakthrough services are not coming out very frequently. But we have already touched upon this topic before. First of all, when we are talking about the MSME, of course, we have to understand that the MSME people, they have a funds crunch. They are, if you compare it with the larger organizations, obviously they are not so cash rich, and obviously to put in money into research, which may not pay, is quite a difficult situation for the MSME compared to the larger organization. But at the same time, the MSMEs are more knowledgeable than already set product, because they are starting new, and they have already seen what are the product or the services that are already there in the market, and they are working on certain problems of the society, and whether their product can solve the problem of the society. So obviously they are a level or two higher in terms of their knowledge, or in terms of the solution that they are offering out there. We have already told, or we have already felt, that organizations and institutions should work together, which means that they should hold hands with academic institutes, so that academic institutes, and they, because they have the funds and they have the directives, but they may not, as you rightly said, that they do not want to fail again and again, and they don't want their money to go away. So it's always better when the talent or the knowledge or the capabilities in the hands of the academic institute. Why not fund that particular project in the academic institute, and see whether that can give quicker results or a more assured result than doing it on their own. Let us also remember, academic institutes are a very storehouse of talent, or storehouse of knowledge, and therefore tapping that knowledge and using the requirement of the market, it would be a win-win situation for the academic institute as well as the MSME company also. At the same time, we are also working with a lot of MSMEs to build a structured process to bring in innovation into the system. So basically, we are also working on a smaller matrix, so which will initially look at basic parameters and slowly raise their capabilities to look at the bigger index of the national matrix or global matrix. Not every MSME can actually put themselves on a national innovation index. Okay, there are smaller ones, and not every of many of them will not be able. So it has to be a gated process or a stage process where they can focus on certain parameters initially, then increase the number of parameters and slowly build on there. But yes, they are, if you are on the track today, tomorrow, you should be able to you contribute to the National Innovation Index and obviously to the Global Innovation Index. In terms of the, so in terms of, as you can rightly said, in the kinds of mindset also, if there are a lot of startups which actually come from the business background and may not have the knowledge or the skill set to do something very fresh or afresh. It is always better to put professionals in the the innovation program, because they come with industry knowledge, and they come with understanding of the innovation parameters outside, and it's always better than that. I'll give you the example. For example, let us look at what the Tata Group is doing, because instead of putting a family member at the helm of Tata Group, we know Tata Group is such a big group, but they put a professional at the top, and that puts it in a very, everything is working out so smoothly for them, because a tested professional or a person whose track record is so well done up, if you put them at the helm of affairs, obviously a lot of things will actually fall in place. So putting the right person on the right job is very important. And at the same time, innovation is something is also a regular process. You also have to keep on brainstorming and bringing out new and new ideas. As we have already said, that innovation doesn't mean that it always has to come from the entrepreneur. It can come from the ecosystem. It can come, new ideas can come from the entrepreneur. It can come from the top management. It can come from the employees in the organization, from the supply chain guys, from the investors, or from the entire ecosystem. Anywhere the ideas can start. So it's important to build a platform wherein free exchange of ideas is required, and you can filter those ideas and improve the capability of these ideas into the system. I think these are some of the parameters, and then you put a matrix. Also, let us also remember, innovation is very subjective. Until and unless you put a measurement matrix into the whole place, it becomes very subjective, without measurability, without accountability, without a timeline for results. It may actually go on for years without giving any actual benefit. So it is very important to put a measurement matrix, an evaluation mechanism, change track if required, involve more people, put in more resources, change the team, and do a lot of things to bring in success on a stipulated period of time. Also, work with a lot of hands, so that you're not working alone. You are working on a setup of things. And also, very important is to look at the products that are available in the market. It's easy because these products are already available in the market, so you can already have a reference point for your innovation to do that. Until and unless you're doing something very greenfield and something for the first time, in which case there's no track record, and whatever you do you'll be your own benchmark. So if you do a product today, so you'll bring a better variant in the next version, and then you bring a better variant in the next version. So both ways, it's easier for you to work on innovation. And let us also remember, there also has to be patent, and so that it can tomorrow, today if your product is successful, tomorrow somebody will copy it. And if somebody with a higher financial power, if he copies it, it will be very difficult for you to fight out. There are so many big business houses who will latch on to you in case your product is successful. They will buy it out, or they will you will launch a copy product. But because of the financial muscle, they will be able to go ahead in the innovation game, and you will be left behind. There have been so many instances where the original idea has come from a smaller entrepreneur, but the big houses have gone ahead because their money power is even more. So I think these are some of the parameters that we can talk about innovation. And my next question to Mr. Mukherjee is, Mr. Mukherjee, if you can throw some light, though you have talked a little bit, but how can you let us if you can throw some light? How do we help organizations in being innovative? We as consultants, how can we help organizations to be more
Yeah.
innovative?
So, Mr. Majumdar also is here. I am from iSTRATEGIC, and Mr. Majumdar is from the Idea Factory. So basically, we help the organization being innovative because we actually, it's basically we deal with the MSME and SME organization where we actually try to discover the purpose of the organization, the purpose of the business owner or the directors. Why they actually are in the business, what they want out of that. So that is very important. Purpose discovery, that is very important. Next thing is that when you are in a business and you want to make some difference in the world and the people, then you need to design some kind of the process, and that is why actually you are becoming innovative. So there has to be a structured innovation process in your organization where starting from the decision making to the information flow to the supply chain or any kind or the human resource system, it has to be designed or redesigned, because whatever you are doing earlier, that is not giving you the aspired result that you expect. So the thing is that why you are not living the old process, why you are sticking with the old process, that is the problem. Because you are getting a pain, but you are accustomed to enjoy that pain. That is the problem. Where the human being, we know that where the problem is happening. If you are not getting the sleep in the late night, still the thing is that we are not trying to sleep earlier. So that's what it happened. And we say that I am not getting the sleep in the night. So that is the problem. You are happy if you are having that pain, try to remove that pain area. But that is not the thing done, and that is why the people are not becoming innovative. So we have a very structured process, starting from the purpose discovery to the each department, each the process, making it is much simpler, make it make it much means streamlined. And whereas that activities will actually flow into certain direction, where the activities and the flow and the energy and the other resources will flow, definitely will give you the much better result that you are getting earlier. So that is the thing, that we have a very structured process where we can actually implement it, and that we can also measure, and we can give the guarantee to the clients that if we work for them, definitely they will become more innovative, competitive in the market, and they will excel. Not only they will excel, they will thrive. This is our challenge. This is our challenge, and we say directly these things to the customers or our client. So Mr. Majumdar is from the Idea Factory, and I am from the iSTRATEGIC, and both we are actually doing the work in the same direction, and both we are giving the challenge to the business owner that if we cannot do that, we will not be charging them also. So it's a kind of the challenge that we take. Either we will actually make them the super innovative, I will actually help them to thrive. Otherwise, we will not be actually charging, or we will give our consultation as a free of cost. So that is the thing, that we are so much empowered, we are so much confident that we will make a difference in the life of the SME and MSMEs. So that's what we think, that if people are actually want to do something, want to influence in the life of the customer or the people who are working in the organization or the society, get in touch with us. We'll help you actually become more innovative, create a difference in the society, create a difference in the life of them. So that's what we do. So Mr. Majumdar, do you have anything to contribute here?
No, I think you have touched upon the main points, because as you have rightly said, we are working on innovation, and we are working on making innovation a way of life within India. We are building an ecosystem around that, and talking to people, trying to bring in, and we do give out a lot of ideas also. That makes it a free flow of discussion. We are putting matrices in place. We are putting method structured in place, and we are trying to ensure that your innovation game is consistent every month, which also means that we are able to evaluate the progress of your innovation over the months, so that it is tightly monitored, tightly controlled, and result oriented, and you get success within a definite period of time. This is also we feel that it is the need of the hour, a priority of the nation, wherein innovation is given a lot of focus. So we are trying to take up that mandate, wherein as a country we put our best step forward, build world-class organizations from India, so that you can compete with the rest of the world, and put systems and processes which are world-class, and build an ecosystem of idea flow within your organization, so that best ideas get captured, and they get translated into reality, and it's closer to the market. I mean, the bigger problem with India is whatever businesses we see is that maybe they do bring a lot of changes in the market, but perhaps the customer wants something else. In many cases, there's still a gap between customer and the product. In fact, if we give an example of today's, a washing machine that we have today, and this washing machine is the latest state of the art. It is the biggest version of the washing machine that we have got, and it is from a brand MNC. We have, they give a promise that this is the best product that you are getting in the market. But when we are using the product for the last 6 to 8 months, we are seeing so many problems associated with the product, and every service guy that is coming to us is giving a different explanation of the same problem, and the problem doesn't go away. So which means that even the technicians are not aware of the solution that is being going, and we are moving back and forth between the company and us, to see that this problem gets resolved. But this problem is a basic problem and should have been taken care by the company before reaching out to the customer. Like this, there are so many problems that we can talk of when actually the customer is not happy. The solution that they are offering, there's a gap between what the customer wants. Your product may be the best version, but it may actually have, just like every medicine has a side effect, some of these products come with a side effect, and they say because it's the best version, this comes with a side effect. So we also have to see the balance between what we are offering to the customer and what the client wants, and whether there's a measurement parameter to ensure that such a thing is captured or corrected before it reaches to the market. Let us assume there are too many people trying out startups in the country, and as per the news headlines, we are saying so many startups are actually closing down, laying off employees. The funds are getting dried up because they are not able to see the traction that they thought they would see, and they are over dependent on the investors for the money, and obviously they have no choice but to pay the organization. So these are trying times. So until, if you have a baby organization, to make it to the next level, and the next level needs a lot of patience. You need a lot of people around you to work with you, to guide you, and to handhold you till it reaches to the next level. So we are all in the same process. We are all helping each other, and in the process, only the nation will improve, the nation will increase, the customers will gain out of it, and we are actually trying to build India into a happy. A lot has been lost in the COVID, because COVID has taken away a lot of it, and we are trying to rebuild the country. And let us all come together and see how as a knowledge center we can add value to the companies. We are open for consultation and discussions, and Mr. Mukherjee and myself, we have also given away our email IDs in every post that we put it in. Please contact us through our email ID, and we will continue doing dedicated programs for you to ensure that you get the best value and the best service from us. I think that's all from our side, and I think that's from my side. I think this is how it is. Mr. Mukherjee, you want to add any point? I think
this is the thing. This is a service that we are offering. So thanks a lot, Mr. Majumdar, for being with us in this evening, and we're happy to help our clients, or rather than we'll be very happy to actually become a partner for their group. Thanks a lot. So we are wrapping up our today's program. We'll be meeting you in our next program in next after 15 days. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.